All right, so I guess because we only have 30 minutes, we should start. And as people join us, they're gonna catch up, or they're gonna catch it all up on the YouTube, which we're gonna post it later. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm here with Sham. We're excited to share with you a thought of a super cool workflow that we had when we met a few weeks ago. Just as a quick introduction, I'm Guy Nirpaz. I'm CEO and founder of Perspective. Before that, you may have recalled that I was the CEO and founder of Tutango, in which I ran for a bit over a decade. How about you, Sham? Why don't you introduce yourself as well?
Hi, everyone. I'm Sham. I'm the COO and co-founder of Hexus. Hexus is your AI artisan that creates product demos and docs in minutes with AI. And over the past year, I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of product-led and sales-led companies. And I'm seeing some really interesting trends in customer enablement and the space in general. And my background is in UX design. So this particular workflow and this talk about everything from research to design is everything to me.
Excellent. So this is exciting. This is the reason why I found this super interesting to talk about the entire workflow together. So, but just a quick background, what Perspective is, which is the new founded company that I started and working on with a few very talented folks. The idea is to basically bring feedback, quality feedback into scale. I think we've all learned through the years that the most, feedback is critical for business to make decisions, to take action, especially in design. The best way to get feedback is through conversations, but conversations don't scale. So we make them scale with Perspective. So, Sham, why are we here?
Yeah, absolutely. So customer enablement is so important these days. Communicating with customers is knowing how to communicate with customers is so important, and delivering engaging customer experiences on top of everyone's minds. So there are a lot of companies who are catching up to it, like, for example, starting with something like up-to-date help centers, because onboarding and retention is a critical piece where customers expect self-service. And that's where you can really, drive reflection with really good visual content that guides users in their preferred formats. But there's also buyers who are expecting self-service now, like a typical buyer usually engages with at least 5 pieces of content before they actually make a purchase. So creating really engaging and, effective content is really important. But it's not just about creating videos and, articles and blogs. It's about knowing how to do that. So that's why I think your tool is also very helpful in its entire life cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think from my experience, when we did the shift, a few years ago into Tango, when we switched from enterprise model where people were kind of driving a lot of the training and education to customers to a self-service model which was amazing success. I mean, enterprise customers really liked it. It became super clear that we are not just in the technology business, we're also in the content business, because a lot of what needs to support the technology is content and learning. And because technology moves so fast, there are new releases and new ideas and new needs, and markets are moving fast, the content needs to support that. And there are multiple ways to think about content, but you can see clear connection between quality of the content, which could be demos, which could be documentation, and the level of enthusiasm and adoption of products and services. By the sheer fact that people, you can train a single person, but then they need to potentially invite other people in the organization. If they have supporting content, that is something which is very, very valuable. So I guess, when you and I talked, you showed me your amazing product, which we're going to see soon, of how you're creating great product. But my question for you was, how do people know what are their challenges, right? When they're creating content, besides crafting the actual video or the demo, what are some other challenges that you see in when you work with all these amazing customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the goal here is really to deliver content that converts or content that actually engages people, right? So, creating is not enough. You have to make it available in the formats that users prefer, in the languages that people prefer. Language is often, overlooked. It's hard to scale content. And the reason that is because, products are changing so quickly these days. Your UI changes, and especially visual content, it goes out of date so quickly. Yeah, you must be familiar, most of you must be familiar with video editing. It's so difficult, like recording something, editing something, publishing, all of that takes too much time, too many iterations, and too many tools. So one of the challenges is teams want to scale their content, but it's just too time consuming. Yep.
Yeah. And I think as part of so if we're looking at the cycle, I think which we kind of came up with together, which it's a very generic one that many people have seen, but um, how do we know that we're creating the right content? What is that, what is the content gap? How do we know that we are creating the right content? What should be the storyboard for this content? So we capture all of that under the the ideation. Think about the content calendar, think about the content library that you're analyzing, think about also the storyboarding of that. Then there is this part in which you actually produce it, and it needs to be, it needs to be effective, it needs to deliver. And in order to know if it's effective and delivers, you need to get feedback from people before you launch it. So I think it's pretty clear that although this cycle seems super simple, speed of iteration and being able to actually create effective content is key for being successful in this world of PLG, content generation focus, and so forth. And I think what I found super exciting is that we can take this AI approach that both companies are focusing on, which is puts people in the center of the creation process, and be able to use perspective to capture gaps, use Hexus to develop engaging content, get feedback, and iterate this super quickly. So obviously, as we both companies take friction out of the flow, we make the ability to create that high quality content much faster. And I guess that's the demo that we would like to show you in a few minutes. But maybe you have other comments on this, Sham?
Yeah, I mean, AI, you mentioned it, right? AI is great for scaling content, but you have to be judicious about how you're using it, because you don't want to sound like you're talking to a robot or a chatbot, right? So I think the human involvement is still very real. Making those judgments, judiciously using AI is very, very important. And I think that's where our tools collectively come in. Like, it's about AI assistance, really, not about just offloading everything to AI. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the key is amplifying the human voice and the human point of view and the human's perspective, and using AI as a form of, advanced automation in order to get through the flow. It's just a new way to think about this, but I think the right approach would be, because we're creating content to be consumed by people, we need people to be part of the people as part of the process, but not necessarily as an inhibiting part of the process, right? So this is kind of, if I'm creating content for people to consume, I need feedback from people. I need to understand what they're looking for, and I need to make sure that what I'm creating is actually, impacting people. Maybe in the future we'll create content for machines, but in the meantime, I don't see this as our objective.
No, I think what you said about amplifying human voice is so spot on. One of the best practices, and one of the things we're seeing in the industry is that all GTM teams want to unify their content, centralize it, because they want to, and customers also expect the same thing. They just want to talk to the company. They don't want to talk to support teams. They don't want to talk to sales teams. They don't want to talk to marketing. It should be just one consistent brand voice according to the company. So that consistency in your customer journey or life cycle is something that AI can supplement.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you've all been kind of waiting for the demos because we are in the AI world and demos are super cool. So here's what we're going to demo. We're going to start with perspective to, so the use case is an organization that wants to create content for their onboarding program. So we're going to start with seeing how can we capture the missing content for onboarding, creating it in Hexus, and then getting feedback on our recent creation with perspective, so we can, you know, keep on the flow super quickly. Okay, so with that, I'm just going to switch into another view. Sorry. All right. Okay, so I need to show you perspective for a second, just so we are kind of we orient ourselves. So the key here in perspective is, first and foremost, is to come up with a question I want to get feedback on. So in this case, it's a conversation, which I'm not going to go through. It's already been done. I'm starting with defining what I'm looking for. So I'm looking to get input on how to improve onboarding. Perspective asks me a few questions, right? You can see, which are, you know, give me a little bit more context, who you want to interview, and at the end of it, what happens is perspective comes up with what we call research outline, which is at the heart of it is a guidance for the interview, right? So how can we improve the onboarding? And these are our goals. As a result of that, there's a link that we can share with our audience that is basically going to take them into like an interview experience, right? This is how it's going to look. And they're gonna respond. So super quickly, within 3 minutes, we answer a few questions. We get a link. We can send this to people. Once people respond, this is what we're seeing, right? So we're seeing their interviews, which we can read, further. Right? We can go all the way in and read the entire kind of interview script and so forth. But something which is very cool, we can, you know, we had a question, so let's just kind of see what the answer is. And this is the answer based on these interviews. But in our context, in which we want to identify what is the content that we want to build, let's jump into a new session and simply go and ask perspective, which is based on these 9 interviews. Based on the interviews, what are some content gaps that we should prioritize to build? Sorry for the prioritize to build. And what it does is perspective goes through the interviews and identify the gaps, which is here. And I can simply take that, highlight it, and share it. I'll copy the link. I can put this in, even in the Zoom. Where is this thing? Chat. And here it is. And Sham can take that and continue from there to build an amazing content that supports this gap that was easily identified. So here you go.
Yeah, that's awesome, because onboarding is constant optimization. And learning from your product data, from your customer feedback is so important in creating a successful onboarding flow. So if everybody can see my screen, I will show you how to create a multi-part onboarding guide for Calendly.
Shem, we're looking at your Calendly right now, just so you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the demo.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to create a multi-part onboarding guide for Calendly. So Hexus is a Chrome extension that allows you to edit your screens and record them. So what you can do with the editor is, really mask sensitive data or just change page copy. Let me change my name real quick. I don't want to show that. This. And let me also update this URL real quick. Okay, I think my screens look good for capture. So I'm going to start recording now. So we've designed Hexus so that you get the recording right the first time. Every time you click on the screen, Hexus takes a screenshot. And any of the in-between cursor movements, all gone. So you don't have to worry about making it perfect because editing is also super simple. So once you stop recording, as you can see, it's cleaned up all the tabs in the background and added these hotspots with AI captions. So you can click through these, or you can play it as a video. And all of this is editable. You can make it very pretty in no time. And I think Guy is going to time me. He's going to record me to see if I can actually deliver this in under 5 minutes.
No, don't worry, you got time. Just go.
No, I'm kidding. But it's really fast to make something in Hexus. You can, for example, let's change the color of the hotspot here to the Calendly blue. And let's add a background color. Let's change the captions real quick.
So you're now customizing the recording for demo. That's kind of the goal.
Yes. Yeah.
And the idea is to hide sensitive information so it could be published on a public site or
You
something
can
like that.
personalize it too. You can, if you're sending it to an individual customer, you can add their name, give that personal touch. Or yeah, if it's sensitive data, you just want to maybe hide all the emails, all the credit card information and all of that.
Super
So
cool.
yeah, let me add a title here real quick. And I'm going to add a...
Can you add voiceover? That's a question in the chat.
Yes. I've also added a personalization variable onto the voiceover, very common. I personally like using the AI voiceovers because I don't have to go back, re-record it, and worry about updating it if I want to change a word or something. And the voices are super natural sounding. But if you also want to add that human touch, you can record your own camera or your own audio as well.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so there's a few other things that you can do, and it's super easy to explore. You can get as creative as you want. And once you're done, just hit publish. You can share this as a link. So you can email this to your customers directly, or you can Okay, I will put this one, but I'm also going to create a multi-part flow. So I will share that one as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, or you can embed it directly onto your help center or a Hexus hosted page as well. Okay, but that's not it. Scaling your content is important. So some people are visual learners, some people like to read. So you can just switch the template and convert it into a how-to guide instantly. We have some other templates as well, but I'll just quickly show you one of the other templates that we offer for your help center. And this is also fully editable. But continuing our multi-part onboarding series. So I've already created a few flows for Calendly. I'm just going to put them together in what we call a multi-flow playlist. Here, I will give it a name, something like getting started. And select these 3 flows and hit create. Yeah. So now I can, let me change this color real quick. I can add more flows here, remove some flows, and update it. So now let me share it with Guy. I will fill in that name variable that I previously added. And okay, oops, I did not enable public access, but now it should be visible. Yeah. So now Guy feels like when I send this to Guy, this is
Wow, I feel at home.
yeah. Yeah, so this is great for email, especially for your onboarding emails or for your marketing emails using the personalization variable. You can click through it, watch the end of it. And really the best part is you can skip ahead. We recommend keeping it short, under a minute, like I would say 10 steps or so that it's not too overwhelming. You can skip ahead, just improve content discoverability in general. I will also share the link for this in chat. And you can change the name and play around with it.
All right, so now that we've created this amazing video, and before we want to publish it, we may want to be able to get feedback from our team. Is it ready? Is it ready? Should we do anything about this? So let me just kind of quickly, let's switch here. So let's start here with, I'd like to get feedback from the team on the new onboarding video. Is it ready to go, or are there any glaring gaps? And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask Perspective for that, and I'm going to answer a few questions. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this video, copy the link, and put it here. Sorry, we've created a demo video for onboarding. Here's the link. And Perspective is simply going to remember this. Now it's going to look a little bit of if there's metadata around this link. You can see it has it all.
That's awesome.
This is super beautiful. The demo video is about creating. That's actually very cool. It kind of like captures all the metadata that's on the video. So yeah, that's correct. So that's smart.
That's pretty spot on.
Let's see, what is it asking me if yeah, all of the above. Let's just go use best practices.
Monique's asking if you can use Perspective for something else other than content feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk about this in a second. Thank you, Monique, for the question. Now, are there any like specific questions that I want to ask? I don't have to answer, but in this case, I'd like to know, can we go live with it? As the last question. And that's it, we're done. And we have research objectives, and we can see, is the new onboarding video ready to launch? Evaluate the clarity, identify any gaps, and you guys can all try it. I'll put it in the, I'll put the link in the chat for everyone to use it, and you can see for yourself. And once you answer, we have an answer. Once you take the interview, we have an answer from our team whether or not the video is ready to go. So I think what we were trying to show you here today, let's go one slide backwards. I mean, I don't know how long it took. I think probably 10 or 12 minutes, something like this. A full workflow. Sorry, not autoplay. I'm not expert in Canva just yet. But what we've been able to show you is ability to identify content gaps, creating amazing tutorial in multiple formats using Hexus. There was a question, Sham, whether you can download that as an MP4. Yeah. Okay, good. So the answer is yes.
You can export
And then,
it.
and then we got feedback by simply putting a link, adding some context, which will, it will learn you over time. So you'll need to answer even less. And you got everything you need in order to decide, am I ready to publish, or what are the gaps so I can create a new iteration with Hexus and get this done. So with that, I'll pause for a second, see if we have more questions. And yeah, I'm waiting for your applause. So what do you guys think?
Guys, so there's a question earlier from Monique, which was, what else can I use Perspective for, or is it just for getting feedback on content?
Yeah, no, this is a very good question. So the way we think about this is a very horizontal use case. You can get, if it's go-to-market, so you can get feedback for win-loss analysis, churn analysis. For creators, it's about content creation, ideation, reviews. If we just want to get input from our team, there's HR leadership use cases in which we want to use Perspective as a better way to get employee engagement. Or from my team, how can we work better together? So there's a wide range of use cases. I personally really love the creative use case because feedback is so much embedded into it. And I'm a creator myself, so I love it.
Cool.
And Mariana, thank you very much for your feedback. Awesome, thank you. Excellent. Sham, any last thoughts or
Yeah, I think
yeah.
we've really good feedback from the comments here. And those who want to follow up with us and check us out, you can just go to our website. For Hexus, it's hexus.ai. And you can, both of our tools are ready to sign, you can sign up for free, get started. It's fully self-serve.
Exactly. And we offer a special promotion of 250 extra credits for people that are on this webinar. So why don't you try it out and let us know what you think?
Thank you for joining.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Alex.
everyone.
This is really cool.
Thank you, Angel. Thank you. Let's see if we have more comments. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Thank you for the kind words.
Hey, just real quickly, I'm usually pretty pessimistic about new tools, but the way I'm developing like small pieces of content really fast, getting this kind of feedback is actually really useful because it's so hard to get, subject matter experts and stakeholders to just approve content for publishing. I currently very often drive them into the learning management system to look at the content. So my question would be, is there plans for this to work in or through a learning management system? I mean, I probably could make it work somehow, but I wonder if you've have had any thoughts around that.
So you mean kind of putting Perspective link for a content element, like a comment or something like this?
Well, for example, my current workflow is I have a subject matter expert log into a learning management system and look at the beta version of the content there. Would the link function properly within? I'm trying to think of this. Would it work properly within a learning management system, like within?
Yeah, if they have rights to see this draft content, yes.
Okay, yeah. These are the things I'm going to try, and even if it doesn't, I think having this really easy way to get feedback and another really easy way to consolidate the feedback so I can just read the summaries of it is actually very helpful because I have so much really rapid development, small chunks of content that people need to view. And very often it's very different people that need to review each piece of the content. So
yeah,
I'll be checking this out in detail.
Yeah, and let us know if you have feedback. We're looking for as much feedback as possible.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened to my video. There it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very cool. Thanks.
Thanks. Good seeing you again.
You too. Long time.
Everyone.
Yeah, it has been.
Bye.
All right, bye.